Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my March show and tell. Y'all, I have so much stuff. I had to ditch my little basket and bring over, I don't know if I can even lift this. This is really heavy. I have a laundry basket. I can't lift it. I have a laundry basket next to me full of stuff I want to talk about. So, these already run long, these videos, and I don't feel like doing a whole lot of editing. So, like, we're just going to run long. It's just going to be what it is. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee or a snack or get some chores started or unload your dishwasher. Oh, that's still chores. You know, do the thing, right? Get some work done, whatever. Listen to me, hang out with me while I share with you all of my favorite things and some of my just random things I want to talk about from March. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this somewhat corralled by category. I do have my planner with my notes, so we'll see how I do. But let's start out with memories, because that's a category I regularly forget because there are no objects associated, so there's nothing in the basket to do with memories. So we're going to do that category first. So a couple things that happened, let's see, in the month of March. Steve, the youngest man-child, back to work. Yay, that is awesome. He works in the restaurant industry. He is a cook. So he was really affected by this whole COVID thing, and he is now back to work. Yay! Like, not full time yet, but it's definitely a start. It's like a sign to me that things are starting to get back to some semblance of normal, which is awesome. Other things that's happened. Let's see, Peggy had more dental work. She's had so much dental work in the past couple of months. I think it started actually in like October or November. So this has been going on now for like going on 6 months. But she's nearing the very, very, very end, which is amazing. I think she's got like one more appointment left and then she'll be all done, which is fantastic. What else happened in March? I know I made notes. Let's see. Oh, I updated my website. So if you haven't visited the website, supportivetarot.com, in a while, I have updated it. It was a lot of work. Probably felt like more work than it actually was because I was learning a new system for doing website thingies, and it took a while. So it is up and running. Everything that was there before is there now. It just looks a little cuter and it matches my stuff better, and it just makes me happy. So if you have a chance, take a peek. Let me know what you think. It should work. There's been a couple little minor glitchy things, but I think most of those are sorted out now. So hopefully it's all working properly. And yeah, as always, you can always check that out if you want to book a reading with me. I do have some limited availability on there right now. So if you're interested, take a peek. And what else did I do in March? March was one of those, it was like a month where it went by really fast. I say that every single month, but I really felt like it went fast in March. And I didn't do a lot besides like things like here, working on my channel, working on my website, doing my regular 9 to 5, that sort of thing. Also, I did start a series of polls here on the channel, which you've probably seen by now because I've been rolling one poll out a day. I am doing a new declutter series on my channel called This or That, where I'm kind of pairing decks head to head and deciding who stays and who goes. So I believe the week that you see this video, so I'm filming this right at the end of March, and I believe the second Thursday in March will be the first one in the This or That series. So you'll definitely want to check that out. It was a lot of fun to do. Really surprised by how the first video went when I sat down to actually film it. I don't like to plan my content in the sense that, like, I plan what I want to do, but when I actually turn the camera on, I don't usually know what I'm going to say or how it's going to all unfold. So you guys kind of get to come along with me in real time for like 99.9% of my content. I don't think there's a whole lot that I do like specifically plan out like talking points or anything like that for. I do a little bit of planning for my self-worth series, things like that. But even then, it's very fly by the seat of my pants. That's just how I like to make content. So that's why sometimes my videos are like a bazillion hours long. But you guys don't seem to mind, so thanks for that. Much appreciated. It was a really fun March, and I feel like I got to do a lot of fun things as far as content goes, some of which you'll get to see in April, so that's really awesome. Other fun things that happened in April, and did I bring it to show? I think, can't remember. Anyways, if you have not seen me obsessing over the Healing Waves Tarot, which is funded on Indiegogo, by the time you see this, it will have already, the Indiegogo campaign will have ended. That was like a highlight of my March. Talking to the creator of that deck, working with them to help spread the word about the deck. I'm really excited. It's beautiful. It's like my dream ocean deck, and I'm so excited to be able to see it kind of come to fruition. So I think that will actually be in our hands by the summertime. I do know that the creator doesn't plan to do like a second run or reprint it, at least at this stage. There's no plans to do that. And I think they are keeping a small window open after the Indiegogo campaign had ended for people to get in on a pre-order. So if you're interested, you might want to check that out like soonish, because I think by the time this goes up, that window will be well underway. So yeah, let's see. Anything else memories wise? No, that was it. Other YouTubey things. So if you didn't see, Dawn Michelle over at Boho Tarot did her full like tarot collection, oracle collection, declutter, as well as her full collection all on videos, which is totally binge-worthy content. If you really like watching people's like full collections, that whole series she just did through, I think, the end of February and throughout March, or maybe it was only in March. There's like 4 to 6 videos, I think, in the series. So good. And if y'all only knew how much time goes into content like that. If you make content, you know. But like doing a video that shows your entire collection, that is a ton of work. And I'm just really excited for her. It came out really good. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go check that out. Other YouTubey things. My friend Erica is back on YouTube. She used to be on YouTube as Raw Spirit Tarot, and she is back as Erica Farmer Tarot. So if you've been missing her content, or if you don't know who she is and you just want to check her out, go check her out. It's Erica Farmer Tarot. She's done a couple videos so far talking about how she reads tarot. She's shown her sacred space, things like that. She's very down to earth and she's very knowledgeable. So go check her out. What else happened in March that I want to talk about YouTube wise? Oh, I had a tantrum and Peggy recorded it and we made a vlog about it. So if you haven't seen the last vlog on Lisa and Peggy Vlogs, which is our vlog channel that we're just playing around with, it's just for funsies, no schedule, nothing like that. But if you want to check it out, I had a total tantrum. If you want to see what that's about, I'll just link it in the cards or something. And if you missed it, myself, Danny of Danny Mystic, and Dustin of Modern Metaphysicae, we have a collaborative channel called 3 Fat Readers. We get together once a month. We have a super lively live stream. It's really fun. And in March, we had our 3 Fat Readers approved Oracle episode, which was so much fun. We basically shared the Oracle decks that we all have in common, plus a bonus category where we offered up one deck that we had, but we didn't think the other two had, that we think they should have. And it was a lot of fun. It was super fun. Also, there were shenanigans in the live chat. So if you do watch that one, you should probably turn the live chat replay on, especially for the latter bit, because Peggy was in there causing all kinds of trouble. So go check that out. I think that's it for YouTube. TV wise, there's a few things I've been watching and enjoying. I'm still watching Hilda, still enjoying it. Didn't get as much Hilda time in this month as I probably would have preferred, but life happened and it was what it was. But I'm really, really enjoying it and not minding that it's dragging out a little bit, that we had some breaks, because it means it just lasts longer. If you like story, myth, a little bit of playfulness in your TV watching repertoire, enjoyment, whatever, check out Hilda. I know I've mentioned it before, but it's so cute. The music is good. It's really an immersive little story, and it has that sort of fable-y kind of feel, but semi-modern. It's really a sweet show. And I watched The Greatest Showman for like the 25th time. I think I have the entire soundtrack completely memorized at this point. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with that movie. It never gets old. It's a musical. If you still haven't seen it, despite my multiple times raving about it, go watch it. It is like the ultimate, like, I'm having kind of a low energy day, or I'm not feeling well, or I'm just wanting to relax and put something on. That is my favorite thing to put on when I'm in that kind of a headspace, and it's just wonderful. Another one that fills that space for me, if you're curious, is Ever After with Drew Barrymore, which is a Cinderella retelling, and or Cinderella retelling? It's a retelling, right? Anyways, that one's super good. I didn't watch it this past month, but it's in that same category of like, I'm having a sick day, or I just don't feel well, or I'm just having like a low energy day, and I just want to put something on that's fun. That's the one I put on. Also, I watched Fate the Winx Saga, which only has 1 season out. It's on Netflix. Ironically, I found out about that show from Dustin, and I got so much crap from my adult man children about that, I almost said deck, about that show, because I guess it's based on like this really cutesy like kids show, cartoon or something, and I mentioned to them, I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this show. And they're like, of course you are. And they're kind of rolling their eyes and teasing me or whatever. Then I was like, no, Dustin likes it. And that was like my entire argument. I'm like, wait, no, if Dustin likes it, it's not just cutesy. Like, there's more to it if Dustin likes it. Because Dustin and my aesthetic could not be further apart from one another. Like, he's over there watching, like, British documentaries, and I'm over here watching cartoons. Somehow this bridges the gap. And if that intrigues you, you should check it out. I really am really eager for the next season. It was super fun. And that's actually probably more TV than I usually watch. I also have been watching the current season of The Voice, which is my favorite reality show. It's just fun to watch. It's lighthearted. I like the music. I love the concept of The Voice and the way that it's set up. So yeah, been watching that. Let's see. Other talky things so that I don't forget. Is there any other talky things? Oh, food. Okay, so food's mostly a talking thing, but I do have a little bit of a show and tell. So do you remember in a previous, if you watch all my show and tells, God forbid, you may have seen me talking about mochi, and my favorite mochi. I bought them again this month, and I haven't actually eaten them all, so I can actually show them on camera. But that is what they look like. So this one has taro flavored, peanut flavored, red bean flavored, and my favorite are these black sesame ones up in the top corner. Peggy's favorite is the peanut, but she's trying to avoid it because these are really sweet. I made the mistake of actually looking at how much sugar is in these. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought I remembered. It's 11 grams of sugar, but per piece. And who eats just one of these? Not me. I think last night actually I just had one. Nope, I had two. I'm a liar. I don't think I've ever had just one. But this has lasted surprisingly longer than the last pack I bought. So that's saying something. I think that's partly because Peggy's not eating them. So yeah, they're going down a little bit slower. But if you were curious about these mochi, these are by the brand does that say Avon? No, it's A1. A-W-O-N. Taiwan specialty. I'm sure these got to be imported, right? Yeah, these are imported. Oh, but they're imported into Canada. Anyways, I get them. If you're in Canada, I actually get these at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is such a random place to get a food thing. But these are the softest, like squishiest, most lovely mochi. Somebody told me how to pronounce this right last time, and I still can't remember. But they're the softest ones ever. They're so good. But they are very, very sweet. Other food things I fell in love. I remember to save the packaging. How YouTube life is this? But I took these to work, and I actually remembered to fold up the packaging and put it in my planner so that I remember to share it with you guys because these were so good. These are, I got these at the Superstore, but they're like a grocery. I think you can get this brand at Walmart too, but it's Joe's Tasty Travels. And it's usually like trail mix and like peanuts and almonds and things like that. But these were new. They were on like an end cap and they were dark chocolate. I say were because they're completely gone. I ate this entire pack. Mind you, it took me most of the month of March to eat them. So I guess that's saying something. But these are dark chocolate covered almonds, but they're sea salted. So you get like, and it's like a chunkier sea salt in there. So it's like it's almost like they took the almond and they like dipped it in a little bit of salt. It wasn't super salty. And then enrobed that in dark chocolate. These were so good. If you like sea salted caramels and things like that, it was such a good flavor combination. Like the salt, the really dark kind of, I don't know how dark, but it tastes like a pretty dark chocolate. These were really, really good. I need a break from them because that 400 grams of dark chocolate covered almonds is a lot of dark chocolate covered almonds. And I was the only one eating them because I took them to work so that Peggy wouldn't be tempted, but they were really, really yummy. I will totally buy them again. I hope they have them in smaller packs, but usually the Joe's Tasty Travel stuff is always in these like giant bags, but that was a really yummy food thing. I can't remember if I talked about it on a previous favorites or not. Show and tell, but I did make risotto in the Instant Pot. I've done it twice now. The first was my favorite. It was a mushroom parmesan. I love risotto. Peggy's not a fan, but I hate making risotto because it's such a process of like stirring and waiting and stirring and waiting. And in the Instant Pot, you literally just like dump your broth in, dump your rice in, dump whatever else in, and you just cook it. And I made the mushroom one, and I sauteed the mushrooms per the recipe that I had. I sauteed the mushrooms beforehand on the saute setting in the Instant Pot. If you have an Instant Pot, this will make sense to you. But I sauteed them, or like browned them a bit, I guess. And then once they were nice and browned, then you kind of toast the risotto for like a minute or two. And then you deglaze that with your broth, make sure there's no sticky bits on the bottom, and then you put in the rest of your broth, and you just cook it for like a ridiculously short amount of time. It's like 6 minutes, I think it was. 6 or 7 minutes on high pressure, and then perfect risotto. You just stir in your butter, your extra butter, and your Parmesan and whatever else. Oh, it was so good. The mushrooms didn't get all rubbery and chewy and weird, which I was worried about in the Instant Pot, but they came out perfect. It was really good. It was really good. And then we made another risotto later in the month. We made a What's that yellow spice? Saffron. We made a saffron risotto, which I wasn't as much a fan of. It was still Parmesan, saffron Parmesan. It was good. The mushroom one was better though. But I love risotto. Peggy doesn't like it. She ate the tiniest bit of the mushroom one just to try it. I don't think she even tried the saffron one. She's like, it's not worth the carbs. I just don't want to bother. But it was so yummy, and I'm really proud of it. I actually got the Instant Pot for Peggy for her birthday in December, and I've totally used it. I think I'm the only, I don't know that she's even cooked anything in it yet. I've definitely used it a lot. So it's more a present for me, it turns out, because it's like exactly the way I like to cook. So that's been fun. If you have or know of any really good, easy, yummy Instant Pot recipes, hit me up in the comments down below, because I love everything I've put in the Instant Pot so far. We've had amazing ribs. We've had really delicious risotto. I want more things. I made a really yummy lentil thing. I've been cooking beans in it, because you can cook dry beans in the Instant Pot, and from dry, just broth and beans, and they come out perfect, and it's like better than canned beans. Anyways, don't get me started. It's fun. I like it. Anyways, that was the Instant Pot. What else did we eat that I was going to talk about? Oh, I tried, Peggy and I have been trying out some various non-dairy milks just to see if we like any of them, both to like bring the sugar down a little bit for her coffee in the morning, and just generally I'm just curious. So I tried oat milk this month. I tried an oat milk drink at Starbucks. It was pretty good. I got a container of chocolate oat milk, and I drank that entire container. It was good. It was tasty. And I would definitely buy it again, just like to drink it. It's yummy. We also recently got the vanilla oat milk, which is good. I would say I like both of them better than I like soy milk or the other non-dairy milks that I've tried. But that chocolate oat milk, that was pretty tasty. I would venture to say it's worth trying some of the non-dairy milks, even if you're normally a regular dairy milk drinker. I love dairy milk. I drink dairy milk pretty regularly. But that oat milk, that was pretty yummy. What else did I try? I made a note. Oh, and it was Girl Guide cookie season, which if you're in the States, there's Girl Scouts, right? And then in Canada, there's Girl Guides. And the cookies, not created equal. However, they're mint cookies, the chocolate mint cookies that both the US version of Girl Scouts and the Canadian version Girl Guides both sell. Those are pretty similar, and they're delicious, and I love them. And what's funny, though, is that when you get Girl Scout cookies in the States, you've got options, right? You got like 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many kinds of different cookies you can get. But in Canada, it's like there's 2 Girl Guide cookie seasons. In the one season, you can get the chocolate mint cookies, which are amazing. And then in the other season, you can get the regular sandwich cookies, which I'm not, they're so-so. But those chocolate mint cookies, those are good. I do miss Girl Scout Samoas, though. I really do. I really do. If you have a favorite Girl Scout or Girl Guide cookie, let me know down below. I'm curious. Also, I miss Samoas. But I did find that there is a Samoa copycat. I might have even found it out because I was talking about this in a previous video at some point. But there is a off-brand cookie that is exactly like a Samoa. It's not called a Samoa. It's called something else. And I probably talked about it in a favorites because I was real excited at the time. So I'm not living without Samoas. It's fine. I just wish our Girl Guides up here had more cookie options. That's basically the point of that story. Was there anything else food-wise? Risotto? Yeah, I think that about covers it. Oh, Pop-Tart Bites! I wrote down Pop-Tart Bites. So I love me some Pop-Tarts, but again, it's another thing I don't have very often because they're literally, it's pure sugar, right? It's pure Pop-Tarts. They're pure sugar. But they came out with these little pouches of like little tiny baby Pop-Tarts that you're meant to just like eat like popcorn. It's like Pop-Tarts. They're so good. They're so tasty. Pure sugar. It's like a little bag of cookies. It's Pop-Tarts. But they taste exactly like Pop-Tarts. And it's like the perfect ratio of like crust to icing to fruit filling. Because they're little, there's more crust, which is what I like. So those are pretty great. I had those in March too. Okay, that was a lot of food babble. Okay, let's get on to, let's go to body makeup fun kind of things. So I always change up this category. Like I write some things down and then I end up pulling different things out. But I have a few things I want to share that I'm kind of excited about. If you don't care about like makeup, nail polish, that sort of thing, you can just like skip ahead the next little bit and catch back up with me when I'm talking about something you are interested in. Or just, you know, tune me out for the next few minutes. That's fine. But I do have a couple fun makeup-y things that I wanted to share. First, nails. So this polish, oh gosh, I'm always so far from the viewfinder in this video and I can never tell. But this is called Zoya Saint. Well, Zoya is the brand. This is called Saint. And it's a really pretty kind of periwinkle purple blue duochrome. It's the coolest color. Like, you should definitely Google it if you enjoy nail polish. This is one of the most unique nail polishes I've ever owned, and it is gorgeous. It was distracting me when I was wearing it because it's that pretty. I would just, like, every once in a while I'd catch it out of the corner of my eye and be like, oh, my nails are so pretty. I ended up putting this on, and then a couple of days later, like, I managed to film, I think, a couple videos with it on, but then a couple days later I ended up, like, doing a bunch of, like, things, like dishes and random things around the house. I don't know what I was doing, and I wrecked it, and I was so sad. And then Peggy's like, we can just repaint it, and I'm like, I know I can, but every time I repaint my nails I always switch colors because that's an opportunity to switch colors. So I switched colors. But this is really, really pretty. The color I'm wearing right now, which I'm also loving, is another Zoya. These are my favorite. And I got a couple new ones, and I put the, I replaced the brush. So Zoya has an option for a wide brush for an extra like $2 or whatever. So I replaced these with the wide brush because I love the wide brush. Anyways, this is Zoya Storm. And I actually think I was talking about a Zoya polish in a previous video, and somebody else commented on that video. I want to say, I don't want to call anybody out, but I think it might have been Heidi. Somebody commented, or maybe it was, no, I can't remember now. Anyways, somebody commented and said I think that they got Zoya Storm. I think that's how I first heard about it. And I remember looking it up and being like, oh, it's like a black with like a scatter hollow glitter in it. But that is what I'm wearing right now. So you'll see that on my nails in a couple videos, but it's really pretty. It went on kind of almost like a dark charcoal. This one went on kind of like a dark charcoal gray with like these gorgeous like scattered holographic sparkles in them. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm so far in and we're not anywhere near decks and books yet. That's okay. We're just going to roll with it. Most excitingly, well, there's two exciting things. First of all, is this not the giantest highlighter you've ever seen in your whole life? This is Drugstore, and this is called by Catrice. It's called Sungasm. In case you wondered what I talk about in my show and tell, it's everything. But look at this, is huge. It is huge, but it is the prettiest. I haven't bought a highlighter I don't need a highlighter. I've got highlighters I like, but this was a Peggy's at the Dentist stress purchase. But it was like $5. I think. I don't know. I'm just trying to remember. I think it was about $5. It was not expensive regardless. But it is like the prettiest. I don't know if you'll be able to see from back there, but look at that. It is like the prettiest. And I'm swatching makeup on my tarot channel. What is even happening with life? But it is like, I don't know if it'll show up. I'm so far from the camera, but it is so pretty. It is like for a freaking cheap highlighter affordable, for an affordable highlighter. And you will never run out of this. It's actually a face and body highlighter. Do people actually highlight their body? Is that a thing people do? I don't see myself doing that. But it's really pretty, and it was inexpensive. It's kind of comically big, though. That's kind of a funny thing. But anyways, but the most exciting thing, okay, I have to get highlighter off my fingers now. The most exciting thing is my new eyeshadow palette. It's the child. Literally, this is what this is called. This is the Star Wars Mandalorian eyeshadow palette. Look at how cute it is. And the shade names are everything. I will open it up and show you, but it's Precious Cargo, Right Hand Mando, Just Like a Tatooine, Sipping Soup, Babyface, The Force, Little Frog, Float Your Crib, and Droid Protocol. Can I say, though, the first makeup YouTuber I saw talking about this, when she was naming the shades and she mentioned Little Frog and she said, why is there a shade? Because she hasn't watched the show. And she was like, why do they call it Little Frog? Is he a frog? And I was like, if you know the reference, it made me laugh so loud. So anyways, the mirror, which hopefully I can show you without blinding you, says cutest in the galaxy at the top. It's so cute. And then you have all of the shades and they're all pretty. It's obviously what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. It's the best. I love it. Okay, randoms. First of all, I had placed an order with Havana of Sparkle Divine Creations, and I got in some beautiful, beautiful things, which I'm really excited to share. So before I forget, I wanted to share her card. She sent, I haven't opened this, I saved it for the favorites video. She sent with her business card, she sent the sweetest little rose quartz heart. I'm going to hopefully be able to zoom this in for you guys, but oh my gosh, it's so cute. I'm afraid to lose it, so I'm going to stick it back in its little pouch. If you don't know, Havana has Sparkle Divine Tarot here on YouTube. I think it's called Sparkle Divine Tarot. Or is it just Sparkle Divine? Now I can't remember. Havana. Love her content. Have loved her content for a long time. When I saw somebody on YouTube, gosh, who was it? I want to say, it might have even been on Instagram. It might have been Aquamarine 18. Oh gosh, I always mess these up. I think it might have been Laura. I would do that every time. Anyways, somebody showed it on Instagram and I about lost my mind, but it was this gorgeous tray. It's an ocean. And I just thought that would be really perfect. It's a good size to put like a 3-card tarot reading on, but I actually just thought this would be really nice on my oceany altar, which lives over there, and that's where it's been living since I got it. It's really beautiful. It's got these like little embedded stars in it. That's what the back looks like, but it literally just looks like the beach. It just looks like the beach with waves, and it's so pretty. So that's been living over there. Had a really excellent like customer service experience with Havana. It was really, really lovely. So really excited about that. And then while I was in there, I've had to get one of these gorgeous, have you seen these? Like resin, beautiful incense holders. These are really great. I've actually been struggling with one of those really big, like, I think they call them Coffin incense holders, which is a terrible name, but they have got like a lid all the way over them. I just want something that's going to catch the ashes properly because I do save my incense ashes. And this one is like the perfect size and shape to like hold a proper incense stick without making a mess everywhere. I've had the kind that kind of stick up and then lean a little bit, and those don't typically work. They always make a mess. And that like coffin shaped one was the most reliable one I had until now. And this is just like, look at it. It's so pretty. It's got this like blue purple shift. So gorgeous. She's got her stuff very reasonably priced as well, in my opinion. And this gorgeous, I was going with a theme, obviously. This gorgeous 3-card stand. This is so pretty. And there's even these like little feet on it. So like these little non-slip kind of feet. But this is like the perfect angle. Your cards stay mostly upright when you put them in here, which is perfect for me. A lot of times I get things like this. I actually have one that's made out of wood. It's much longer, but the cards, it's like the thing is too deep. So the card sticks down too far and it tips too far back. So it's a little bit limited in how you can use it. This, perfect. So I thought that'd be great for my little working reading table space for when I'm doing readings and I want to just prop my cards up while I'm looking at them and working on them and so forth. I do typically work with or use reading cloths, but it's really nice to have a couple of other ways to shake things up. And this is perfect. This tray is perfect because when I do my readings with working with doing the deity work that I do, I like to keep the cards out for a long time, and that just kind of protects them. They're in something as opposed to getting knocked around. So I really like the idea of them being in a tray. So definitely recommend that. I will have a link to her Etsy shop in the description box down below, but that ocean tray is really pretty. And there's other resiny things that she has there too that are just gorgeous. There were some jewelry pieces and some other things. Definitely recommend. Okay, other random things, and probably my favorite of all the favorite things this month are the mugs we got from, I think it's Salty Sea Dog Creations. So I got this one for Peggy, and we showed him on a live, and I believe we decided that his name would be Sass. So this is Sass the dragon. Look at how cute he is. He's got the funniest face. He is so adorable. These mugs are great. They're all handmade, hand cast and painted, and they are dishwasher, microwave safe, all that kind of stuff. But he's adorable, and Peggy's been drinking her coffee out of him like nonstop and her tea since she got him. And I got the counterpart, Sparkle. Look, it's a rainbow unicorn. Look at the tail. It's got kind of like a snouty face, which is so adorable. And there's like this like almost like kind of smirky smile on her. She is the cutest. And then her inside is like kind of this kind of indigo-y color, about the same color as this part of her forelock. But I freaking love these. They also have quite a bit of like sea creatures. So there's like octopi and whales, and there is a cow, a sloth. I really kind of want the sloth also. Not gonna lie, I might have to save up for him in the future, but oh my gosh, these things are so cute, so durable, and I love proper ceramic mugs because they just keep your coffee or your tea or whatever hot for longer, and I love them. And these are so cute, and when you see them together, it's like, it's me and Peggy. It's Sparkle and Sass. Look how cute. Oh my god. I really love them. I love the little wings on the side of the dragon too. I mean, of the two, I have to say, I think the dragon is the cutest. I really do. But they are adorable. And they just make me happy to look at them. So yeah, that's a big favorite. I will have their, they're moving, I think, mostly to their website. So I'll have their website linked below, but I think they do have some things still on Etsy. So you may be able to also search them up on Etsy and buy stuff from them there. Last random things in here, I think, yes, are I conned Peggy very sweetly out of 2 more of her 2 pocket wraps. So I've shown this fabric before. She made me this in a single pocket wrap, but I also needed it in a 2 pocket wrap. But it's this gorgeous Believe in Magic unicorn design. It's so pretty. So I typically actually use these. I use these probably the most of her wraps because I hang my decks on the wall. But these 2 pocket wraps are perfect for whatever my working decks are for the week or for the month. I usually carry them in this, and that way I can cart them to and from work really easily with any guidebooks or other things, or a separate reading cloth. But I also like that I can also easily open it up and do my reading for the day on here. I've talked about them before, but I love it. So I conned her out of this one. And by conned, I mean I asked real nice. And she handed them to me without too much swearing. So that was good. And I also got this one here, which I had to have. I insisted she buy this fabric when we first spotted it. She was able to get it in a lavender color and in this cream color, but they're like these like garden folk kind of witches. They're so cute. It was like a Halloween fabric, but I said, no, 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 this is more than Halloween. This is like the least Halloween-y witchy fabric I've seen in a long time. So pretty, but look what she put on the inside. I apologize in advance because I'm pretty sure this is the last of this fabric. I'm sorry, but it's mine, and I'm not sorry about the fact that it's mine. Just sorry that you can't have it. She may be able to get this cream colored one again. We'll see if something like that comes back. I thought she had one of these 2 fabrics still left. I know she has more of this stuff. I don't know if she has more of this stuff, but anyways, I'm going to be working with using this one through April because I know what decks I'm going to be working with in April. And this feels the most like suited for that. So that's probably what I'll be using, but I like rotating those around. So that's fun. Okay. I have a little bit of time left. We're going to talk books and decks, which is probably what most of you guys are here for. So I'm just going to dig into my basket. So the first thing, I finished the Percy Jackson and the Olympians box set. I am not keeping these. These were a fun read. I got them on sale. It was cheaper than Kindle. Not sad about it, but I'm going to be probably putting this up in my local Facebook marketplace so that it can find a home with somebody else. But this was really fun to read. I will say that I kind of slogged through the last 2 books. The first 3 were the ones I had the most fun with, but it was a beautiful story, and I felt like it wrapped up pretty decently by the end of the 5th book, although I do know there's more Percy Jackson. Keep in mind, Percy Jackson is a series that was designed for, like, middle grade, so, like, I would say, I think it was designed for, like, kids aged, like, I don't know, 10 to 15, somewhere in that range, and the protagonist is, like, you're with him, I think, from the time he's, like, 11 or 12 till he's 16 or so, I think. That sounds about right. It was a fun series, and it definitely brings the Greek myths to life and the Greek heroes to life in a different way, which was really fun. And because I started reading this when I was working with the Mythic Tarot in February, that was really fun, but I did finish them in March. So yeah, I probably rated the last 2 to 3 books 3 stars and the first couple books 4 to 5 stars. So that gives you an idea of how that was for me, but I did finish them, so I'm very proud of myself for that. And then I read in March, The Woman in the Window. This was just a fun purchase I made on Book Outlet when it was like $2 or $3. I just added it to my order. The format of this book was one of the things I kind of liked about it. It felt like it was like tarot card shaped, just such a dorky reason to like want a book, but it was fast paced. It was decent. It wasn't something I'd like go out of my way to recommend. It reminded me a lot of The Girl on the Train, to the point where it felt like it was just a very similar concept. When you read reviews, you'll hear a lot about the unreliable narrator, which is kind of the whole point of this story, is that the person's perspective who you're hearing the story from isn't very reliable for a number of reasons. And it was interesting. The twists weren't as exciting as I guess I hoped they were, so it left me a little underwhelmed by the end, but it was fine. And I read it in like 3 days, so I mean, if that tells you anything. The best book that I read in March, is this the last book in there? Yes. Was The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This was so good. This was so good. To whomever, when I did my haul and I mentioned that I got this book and I said, if you've got any opinions on what I should prioritize reading, I got a couple comments to prioritize reading this one. It was so good. I finished it in like 24 to 36 hours. It was ridiculous. I read this so fast. I think I literally read half of it one day and half of it the other day. I believe this is also technically a middle grade book. Just to give you an idea. So this was a winner of the Newbery Medal. Yeah, the Newbery Medal. On the back, it says, the New York Times book review says, The Girl Who Drank the Moon is is as exciting and layered as classics like Peter Pan or The Wizard of Oz. I agree. I think this was really magnificent. It drew me right in. It was a total page turner. I didn't want to stop reading it. It was really immersive and really beautiful. And I think when I finish reading a book and I feel like that was so beautiful, that's when I'm like, that's a keeper. So this one is staying in my, I will reread this, is basically what I'm saying. This will stay on my shelf. Most fiction books that I read, I end up passing along because I know I won't read them again. This is one that I could see myself making a point to read like once a year. It's just really, really beautiful. The last book that I think, the last two books I would say that I felt like this about were A Game of Fox and Squirrels and the Graveyard Book. So if you heard me rave about those, this is right up there with those. Ironically, they're all middle grade books. So I don't know what that says about me, but it's really beautiful. Like, you can tell it's meant to be a complete story. The characters come alive in this book. There's so much, like, the writing is really beautiful. If you have not read this and you get a chance to read it, read it. It won't take you long, and it is so beautiful. It's beautiful. Have I mentioned it's beautiful? I stop saying that now. But that was my favorite read of March. I'm currently reading Sea Witch, so I will update you guys about that, I'm sure, in my April show and tell. Let's talk decks because there's so many. So I'm not going to belabor it too much, but my deck that I worked with, my primary working deck for March, was the Shadowscapes Tarot. I've got a whole video talking about my experience with this deck, how it read for me, what my pairings were, and all of that stuff. So I'm going to breeze on past this deck and briefly talk about some of the other things, but keep an eye out for that video. Actually, that video may have come out right before this video, so you may have already heard all the details. So yeah, there's that one. Okay, some things, I have to tip my laundry basket of stuff now. So some things that I paired with it that I enjoyed working with in March. The Spirit of the Animals deck by Jody Bergsma. This is a gorgeous deck. If you do not have this one, or if you have it and haven't reached for it in a while, I definitely encourage you to pull it back out and work with it a bit. This is such a gorgeous deck. It's very immersive, and the messages on the bottom, I shouldn't keep moving the cards around like that. The messages on the bottom are great jumping off points for a reading, like for a daily draw. If you pull a card from this and then read the message and use that to create a question for yourself and then pull a tarot card, you will have a really lovely, I think, daily reading experience. It's really pretty. Funny story about this deck. When I first got it, it kind of had a bow in it right away, and after I had the deck for a few months, that bow completely went away. So I think that was a humidity issue where it had to adjust to the weather in my area or something. Love that deck. Another deck that I paired with the Shadowscapes is the Healers of the Earth. This is by Mandy, I think her name is Peterson. This deck originally came out in a bordered version, and then I got the borderless version. And it is really beautiful. It's like a computer-generated artwork, I think. Great mix of keywords and titles and themes. I have struggled since I've brought this deck into my collection to find what I want to match it with or pair it with. I don't know what the issue is. I feel like I just have a hard time finding things that it works next to, and I don't typically reach for it by itself. So this is on my, I'm not sure, kind of list right now. So we'll see what ends up happening with this one in my collection. It's really pretty and I love it, and I always enjoy working with it. It's just that I so rarely work with it. Does that make any sense? Other things that I paired. So I paired the Queen of the Moon Oracle also with Shadowscapes. I'm going to be working with this deck again in April because I think it's going to work really well next to my April deck. But this artwork is gorgeous. I'm trying to just take this Oracle deck as an Oracle deck because if I think too hard about which phase of the moon it represents, I start to feel limited, like I can only work with this deck during that moon or phase of the moon, which is a weird way to think. But I think this is a great all-rounder Oracle deck. and I'm looking forward to working with it again in April. It worked for me really. I love the artwork. These Stacey DeMarco decks are so beautiful. I am tempted to pick up her Elemental Animal Oracle. I haven't yet because I really want to work with this one a bit more, but man, it's tempting. Other decks, I played with my spread machine. You'll hear me talk more about that, or have heard me talk more about that in my Shadowscapes video. But my favorite is definitely Quest. I love this so much. It's probably the least overwhelming for me to use and the most relatable right out of the gate. But the spread machine primary deck has such a great mix of prompts to build your own spreads, and it's great to either shuffle and just randomly draw a couple things or to consciously create spreads with. But man, Quest is one that I'm definitely going to find myself playing with a lot, I think, because I just really love the prompts. Like if you are a gamer at all, you will love these. The prompts are just, the categories of the cards are like characters. So you have, I'm going to have to do it this way, sorry for the focus, but you have hero, you have what's your strength kind of prompt, who's your sidekick. And there's even an exercise in the book where you can basically use all the character cards to sort of build a profile for your character. What's your ultimate move? What's your character's destiny? What's your character's weakness? And then you've got a set of power-ups. So things like invincibility, blessings, speed buff, mana potion. Then there's equipment. And then there's embark, which are kind of like the actual quest that you're on. This is so fun and so relatable, and I felt like a lot of these spread positions felt like they were very malleable and expansive, like I could use them in a bunch of different contexts. I know this is meant to be the expansion, but I don't know, this is the part of spread machine that I'm the most excited about and having the most fun with. So definitely loving Quest. Spread machine is also good. I also think I like the portability of Quest because it's a much smaller deck, so it's easier to chuck in my little travel bag with whatever deck I'm working with and whatever Oracle deck I'm working with, and it all can kind of fit together. So that's probably one of the reasons why I've been reaching for this the most, but really like both. Love Quest. Love Quest. Other decks I played with, I got the new Messenger Oracle. I made a whole video about this, so I won't go on and on and on. This is what the backs look like. Second edition of Messenger Oracle by Raven Phelan. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited for the next deck she has coming out. I think somebody said it's called the Seeker Oracle. Really excited about that because the quality of this deck is really beautiful. It's a silky matte cardstock, nice and thick, but still flexible, easy to shuffle, tarot sized, which is awesome. And I just love this artwork. Really pretty. So glad I picked this up because I was almost ready to declutter my original Messenger Oracle. It was very glossy. It had really huge borders that kind of just made the artwork feel extra small. This version of the deck is stunning, and Blue Angel just did an amazing job with this. Okay, so a couple things that I didn't work with like for a whole week or anything, but that I definitely enjoyed this past month. So I use this for client readings and for myself a few different times randomly throughout the month, or I guess not randomly, but a few different times throughout the month. This deck is so beautiful, and it just makes me more and more excited for Smoke, Ash, and Ember to come out, which is the next collaboration between this creator and this artist. They are going to be working on a Earth Dragon based deck. I'm so excited for it. There is one card in here that is a little teaser for that next deck, and it's called, I think, Possibilities. Let's see if I can find it, because I keep it mixed in. Oh my gosh, can we talk about this Tower card though? Oh, this deck is so stunning. Where is it? Oh my gosh, my dog is literally snoring next to me. The Hedgehog Hermit. Are you kidding? This deck is so great. Ah, yeah, there it is. Possibilities. So this gives you a little bit of a feel for what we can expect from Smoke, Ash, and Ember. But this deck is great. I wasn't sure how it would work out in a client reading, but it did really, really well, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with it. So that's a recommend for sure. I believe you can still get it. Another deck that I worked with in a client reading recently is the Reclaim Oracle. This just came into my collection, but this deck packs a serious punch, and the guidebook is not to be ignored, in my opinion. The guidebook has these beautiful little narrative style messages. The guidebook's totally handwritten, like handwritten and then copied, obviously, to like not, you know what I mean. But it's written in a very personal style. It takes you a second to adjust to reading somebody's handwriting in this way, and I have stumbled over my words once or twice, but when I used this in a client reading, I read the cards intuitively first, and then I read what the guidebook had to say, and it was really powerful. And that is never something that I feel called to do in a client reading, is read from the book, but I read it intuitively, and then I pulled from the book as well, and I was so glad I'd done it. I really feel like the messages that were meant to come through came through for that client, and it was really powerful and felt really natural to do, which again, I did not expect. But this, I have a full walkthrough. This is a very hard-hitting, powerful, beautiful healing deck, and it ran out of stock right after my video went up, but she's already working on pre-orders for the next printing. And then two other things, kind of honorable mentions. So some time ago, I had this deck, and then we had an episode of Three Fat Readers, and this deck came up in the Three Fat Readers live stream. Dustin was showing it. He sounded like me when I'm talking about a deck, when he was talking about this deck, Tarot of the Magical Forest. I had this deck. I trimmed it. I edged it in different shades of green. It was adorable, but I found that I wasn't reaching for it as often, so I ended up trading it. And when I saw Dustin talking about it in Three Fat Readers, I was like, I kind of miss it. I kind of miss it. It's really super cute. It's totally up my alley. I'm like, can I have too many cute decks? Is that a thing? Like, why do I worry if I have too many cute decks? Like, I reach for lots of different cute decks. It depends on the mood, whether I want to reach for a particular cute deck or not. And this one is freaking adorable. It's so cute. So how this came back into my life, the lovely Barb shipped this to me. Essentially what had happened was I got a surprise package in the mail, and it had a note in it, and it turns out that she had 2 copies of this deck. So she sent 2 copies, one for me and one for Danny. So I sent along Danny's to her, and now all 3 of us, Dustin, Danny, and I, all have this deck. And I think Danny's already shown it in a video where she was talking about how to bond with the tarot deck. Oh, check that out. That's another YouTube shout out. That was a great video. Danny's doing a new series on how she gets to know her decks, and she's already put episode 1 up at the time I'm filming this. Episode 2 is probably coming. I know there's going to be another part, but she uses this deck as an example in that video. So yeah, so we've all got it. Thank you so much, Barb. It was so sweet, and it was such a fun surprise. And Peggy got these crazy glasses that she then used in a live stream. So if you saw those glasses, those were totally from Barb. That was all Barb's fault. But this is great, and I'm so happy it's back, and I love it. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to retrim and re-edge it again because I really loved how that turned out last time. So I'm probably going to do the same thing to this one. I'm now literally buried in decks, and there is one more yet to talk about. So in this beautiful oceany bag, this is another deck that I have been using and loving. This is the Messages from the Mermaids Oracle deck. I was using this on my ocean altar for, gosh, several months now, and I've now swapped out to use something else for a little while. So in honor of pulling this down for a bit, I thought I would share it again. If you haven't seen this one, can we talk about the backs? If you haven't seen this one, check it out. It's beautiful. The diversity in this deck is incredible. We don't often see that from a mass market deck in the first place, let alone a mass market oracle deck. And this deck does it so well. There's age diversity, body diversity, racial diversity, like some really unique, different mermaids in here. And I freaking love it. It is so gorgeous. The keywords are fantastic. The guidebook is lovely. The messages are lovely. I love this deck. It is so pretty. So I have that in its special little watery shelly bag here. And that was a lot of fun to work with. And again, I worked with that for a few months. So definitely a favorite. I am now officially buried in stuff and been talking for about an hour. So I'm definitely going to wrap this up. Hopefully by the time I'm done editing, it's just a little bit shorter than an hour. But then again, I don't really edit a whole lot out. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully if you were doing chores or working or something while I was talking to you about all my favorite things, you got some stuff done. I hope it was productive over the last hour for you. If you watched this whole thing and you've managed to make it this far, type sparkle and sass in the comments, and then I'll know you watched it this far, because that's always fun. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a lot of fun to do. I am now off to go create a thumbnail for this video and do the tiniest bit of editing so that I can put it all into one, and I will talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it or you found value in it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and click the little bell so you're notified of my future videos. Thank you so, so much for hanging out with me, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys. I buried myself and I can't get up. I'm stuck. I can't. There's so many decks. I literally have to unbury myself in order to get off my bed. Like a little for real, but I'm sorting it out. It's fine. I figured it out. We're okay. I'm okay. You're okay.
Save you from yourself. Oh my God, look at you.
This is what a favorites video looks like. I get a big bucket and I bring all my stuff. And then I have a million things to put away when I'm all done. It's so much work. So fun, but so much work. Okay. Oh, I remembered to hydrate this time too. Bye.